So what are we doing here today?
Great question. So I'm Beth Hodgson, and I'm studying photography under Joe Trevino. Recently, he charged me with making a short video on my why, or my inspiration for my work. And I'm here to talk a little bit about that.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your why.
Okay, yeah. I hope you're ready for something that's partially therapy session, because it's kind of like that. I've done some of these videos before, and it's easy to be surface level and say, I do what I do because I want to make people feel good or create pretty things or, expose people to different concepts or events. But I think Joe wants me to peel back the layers a little bit, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it.
Let's dig in a little deeper.
Okay, all right. I'll try to be concise. I've been an artist my entire life, from an artistic family, and art has been something that has been a constant in my life, something that I love, and it brings me a lot of peace. So I've been drawing and painting primarily, but engaged in the arts in lots of different forms my whole life. Grew up in somewhat a normal looking house, somewhat. Mom, dad, three siblings, four of us, and but a very, very messed up family. My mom's mentally ill and an alcoholic, has always been sick since we were kids. And dad wasn't around a lot, just wanted to escape that experience. So primarily raised by my mom, bit of a monster. And I grew up very fast. And used my art as a release to cope. Had a young sister that I had to care for who was a bit of a mess. And art was my saving grace.
Sounds like a tough environment for a little kid.
Yeah, it really was. I was pretty much, I can sum up my childhood. There were good moments. I'm not going to deny that. There were Christmases with lots of presents under the tree and family trips, but the rest of it was really, really terrifying what I experienced as a child. Nothing I wish upon any other human being. So
you dove into your artwork.
I did dive into my artwork. And the thing is, my inspiration for my art then and now, it's very similar. So I spent a lot of time, in high school. I'm just really in a state of survival, trying to always think of my next move, scared, hopeless at times, looking for a sign. So, people say signs come, maybe they said God or the universe or nature or whatever. I didn't care where the sign came from, but I wanted a sign of hope that my life wouldn't always be like this. And I was always looking. I would look at the heavens, I would look in nature, in the water and in flowers, and anywhere that I could see something that resembled a sign, whether it was a heart-shaped, leaf or a beautiful flower, something that would make me feel good, gave me that reassurance. So backtracking a little bit, I was one time at an aesthetic appointment. Okay, this is where they do facials for people who don't know these things, facials and so forth. And I'm sitting waiting for my esthetician, and I'm looking at the art. It's all similar, framed in the waiting area, and it's largely black and gray, some reds in it, and it's very destructive. I couldn't quite make out what the theme was. So in comes the manager, and I said, gee, tell me a little bit about this artwork. And she said, oh, isn't this amazing? It's so exciting to have this artist's work showcased here. She's very passionate about the images she does of orphanages in Serbia that have been bombed.
Oh, wow. That's some heavy content.
That's not my artwork. So I'll tell you about my artwork. Primarily a painter. My preferred medium is acrylic or pencil. I create happy images. So here's an example of some mixed media I did recently. And I'll tell you in a minute why I don't have a ton of work. Here's acrylic on canvas. There's another one. And then something that I'm featuring now is a lot of my rock work. I really got into painting rocks. This is one, Let Your Inspiration Fly. And here's another piece here that I really like. This is Dream.
That's very cool. How did you get into painting rocks?
Yeah. So fast forward from my horrendous childhood. I was doing a lot of acrylic on canvas primarily, but all sorts of art. Do some commissioned work. And then at some point, I realized, I picked up a rock and I had seen this movement of rock painting. And I said, it's kind of cool, right? Like, I could take a canvas, like this canvas, and I can sell it. I'm never going to make for it what it's worth in terms of my time and my creative energy that I put into it. Let me take a rock like this, right? And I can paint it and I can just stick it outside somewhere. And some person I don't know is going to pick it up and say, wow, it's a piece of art. And this concept became very exciting for me because when someone writes and says, oh, hey, I want a painting that says namaste to put in my yoga studio. Like, great, I can do that for you. It's no problem. It's lovely, it's in their studio. But something like this, I don't know where this is gonna end up. And it could just be a sign for someone, right?
Yeah, and rocks last forever.
Rocks last forever. Yeah. So this is kind of a twofold story. It's why do you paint rocks? And I'm going to focus on that because most of the work I'm doing these days is on rock. Why do you paint rocks? And then the second is photographing, because I'm sure that that's what Joe was getting at. So I started painting shit tons of rocks and plating. Rocks, I would go and I'd collect all these rocks, bring them home, scrub them, come up with designs. Most of them, my unique or original work, inspirational sayings. Back to this idea of leaving little signs out in the universe that the right person could find. And I did this during the pandemic and, taking a lot of my time. I have a busy house to run and work and a lot going on. I've got 4 kids and a husband and the story.
Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot. But this rock painting, it gets into your brain, being honest. And I started meeting other people from around the world that were equally interested in leaving these little bits of love, like sending love out into the universe, we say. And we connected on social media. And I'm sending out hundreds of rocks. I'm leaving them at places so the person that buys my canvas or panel, right? Person's probably has good resources. Person that finds my rocks could be anybody.
So these are rocks that they find out in the community and they can keep them?
Yep. I leave them at gas stations, Walmart parking lot. I leave them around schools, just general on the street. You could find my rock anywhere. And I usually include a little sticker on the back that says finders keepers because I want people to know you found it. I've gone into a restaurant and someone was really nice and left it with my check. I've left them in so many places. And it's a thrill. It's an absolute thrill when you get a note from someone. My name, at least my Instagram handle, is on the back. You won't be able to see this.
I did notice that, and sometimes people reach out to you to say you found a rock. They found a rock.
It absolutely will move me to tears. And I will have tears streaming down my face because generally it comes with a story. For instance, Beth, I found one of your rocks and I want to tell you that my father was recently diagnosed with cancer and I've been praying and praying for him, and I was taking a jog and there was your rock. And I believed at that moment it was a sign that everything was going to be okay. And this goes back to the inspiration that I use in a lot of my work. Again, it's not bomb shelter or bombed orphanages that I'm integrating into my work. It's messages of hope and, like this, shine, speak beautiful words. And I didn't say it, but sometimes I also, these canvases, I leave them around too, as this is part of the free art movement, if you're not familiar with the name of that. So it just goes in a plastic wrap with a finder's keeper on it. But these inspirational images and text are what people love. I get notes from people. I was recently diagnosed with cancer. This rock is in my pocket, to keep me going. I can't tell you how many of these notes I get, and they're always moving. And sometimes it's, a woman wrote and said, I have been pondering this really huge business decision, and I've been scared, and so I haven't acted on it. And then I found your rock in a tree, and it said blah, 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 and I took it as a sign to move forward. So thanks to you, I'm going to embark on this journey. Thank you. And it moves me now to think that I have that impact. Like I have that ability to help other people. When I was young, I looked for it and I didn't always get it. I was a child and then a teenager that really suffered a lot. If you've known anyone that's mentally ill, then you understand what it's like to be raised by someone who's not only delusional and paranoid and horribly mean, but also a raging alcoholic who likes to beat on their kids. Like, that kid needs help from adults. I didn't really get it. And so now is my chance as an adult to give to others. And I have this chance.
Through your artwork.
Through my art. So fast forward, let me wipe the tears. In meeting rock artists, I met so many amazing people, but two really just stand out and equally. Darren Hollingsworth, who lives in Tennessee, and Regina Hartung, who's in North Carolina. We connected. It's just, I can't explain it other than to say we have this energy, and it's really good relationship. Regina, she's just like this amazing rock painter who shares so many rocks. It's just incredible. She's puts out so many rocks into the universe, and she's a great person and a great friend. And Darren has opened my eyes to so many things. He's so wise. I don't know if he realizes it, but he has a lot of wisdom, and he's heavily based in the gratitude movement, and I love that. So we would Zoom a lot early in our relationship, and Darren said to me something one day that really stuck with me. And I think anyone who's into photography will get this. So I was complaining a little bit about, I'm painting hundreds and then into thousands of rocks and leaving them out. And, I don't know, I think I was making a comment about not knowing always where they go, or hoping that, people weren't hoarding them, because that's been an issue where, you put rocks out and people go and they'll take 20 for themselves.
Well, they're so beautiful.
Well, but right, it's supposed to be one per person. I know, I don't have the control over that. And Darren said something that has stuck with me. He said, you do realize, Beth, that your rocks have two distinct lives. No, tell me about that. He said, well, it has the life that you give it and hiding it. So a person finds it, and they become the finder and the owner of the rock. But the pictures or the photographs you take of these rocks that you post to social media, it's a whole nother life. Ah, the light bulb went off. Right. So I don't take pictures of all my rocks, but I take pictures of a lot of them, and I post them to my Instagram account. I have an art account, Sunny Bee Art Studio, and I have a lot of followers from all over the world, and they're amazing. so many of them, they're so engaged, and they write me notes too. And they say, oh my God, I needed this sign today. I needed to see this. And thank you. It's now the wallpaper on my phone. Once in a while, someone will say to me, I needed to see this. And I'll say, send me your address. I'll send you the rock. And I've done that. And my rocks have gone all over the world. At this point, I love to share my work, but the pictures, that life of it is, Darren was right. It is a whole nother world. And so if we have to go back to my why, and I think I've probably said it as much as anyone needs to hear it, but why do I create? It's therapy for me. I'm still overcoming the traumas of my childhood. Until the day I die, I will be. My family knows it. I'm open about it. And I need help with, my anxiety. So in my doing the work, I'm helping myself. But then I'm leaving my work out for the finder. And then my photographs are also helping people. So that's my why.
Well, you're an inspiration to everybody out there, and we appreciate you going so deep into your why.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And thank you, Joe.